If you're over 60, the way you start your morning might be quietly increasing your risk of stroke without you even knowing it. You wake up, check your phone, skip breakfast, coffee on an empty stomach, straight into chores. It feels normal. But research now shows that the first 90 minutes of your day may either protect your brain or put pressure on it. Most people unknowingly make 5 common mistakes before 9 a.m. that tighten blood vessels, raise cortisol, and disturb oxygen flow to the brain. The good news? Each one is fixable. And with a few simple shifts, you can turn your mornings into a daily shield for your brain, your heart, and your future. Let's begin with something so simple that most people brush it off: not drinking water after waking up. It might seem harmless. After all, how urgent could a glass of water really be? But for those of us over 60, skipping hydration first thing in the morning quietly puts strain on every system that keeps us steady, especially the brain and heart. Think about it. You've just gone 7 or 8 hours without a sip. While you slept, your body lost water through breathing, sweating, and basic repair. By morning, your blood is slightly thicker, your blood vessels are tighter, and your heart has to work harder just to pump that sluggish blood upward to your brain. That's when stroke risk quietly climbs. Not because of something dramatic, but because the system is underfueled at exactly the wrong moment. One patient I remember, a healthy man in his early 70s, woke up feeling fine, stood up fast, collapsed within seconds. It wasn't a heart attack. It wasn't a brain bleed. It was simple dehydration. The night before, he'd had salty food. In the morning, no water. Just coffee, and that coffee, acting as a diuretic, only made things worse. His circulation couldn't catch up. His brain didn't get the oxygen it needed in time. And sadly, that's not rare. Many older adults wake up, skip water, go straight for caffeine, and then feel lightheaded, foggy, or off for the rest of the day, never realizing they're running on empty. Here's the fix. Not a pill, not a product, just 6 to 8 ounces of room temperature water within the first 10 to 15 minutes of waking up. That one glass does more than quench thirst. It gently thins the blood, supports kidney filtration, relaxes the vascular system, and even signals the digestive system to begin without stress. Want to take it one step further? Add a pinch of sea salt for trace minerals and sodium support, or a squeeze of fresh lemon, which activates the liver gently and balances morning electrolytes. And avoid cold water first thing. It can shock the nervous system and actually raise cortisol, which is the last thing your arteries need upon waking. This is simple. It costs nothing. And it could save your balance, your clarity, and quite possibly your life. So tomorrow morning, before the coffee, before the headlines, start with water. Let that be the first message your body hears. You are supported. We're waking up gently, and today we're protecting the brain. Now, let's talk about something most people never think twice about: how you get out of bed. It sounds small, but for someone over 60, standing up too quickly can be the trigger for something far more serious than just a moment of dizziness. Here's what happens. When we sleep, our blood vessels relax. Blood tends to pool in the lower half of the body. And when you go from lying flat to standing in one quick motion, gravity pulls that blood downward. For a few seconds, your brain may not get enough oxygen. That's what people call a head rush. They shrug it off, "I just got up too fast." But what's actually happening is that your nervous system is struggling to keep up. And over time, those little moments of lightheadedness, those brief wobbles, they add up. In people with high blood pressure or stiffened arteries, that sudden shift can cause tiny vascular injuries. They don't make headlines, but they wear on the brain's circulation, quietly increasing the risk of stroke or falls. I've seen it firsthand. Older adults who feel perfectly fine one minute, then dizzy or foggy the next. Not because they're sick, but because their morning rhythm is too fast for their aging vessels. So here's what I recommend to every patient over 60. Don't just jump out of bed. Instead, pause. Roll onto your side. Let your legs hang over the edge. Sit upright slowly. Place your feet on the floor. Take one deep breath, then rise. This gentle sequence gives your circulation time to catch up. It helps prevent drops in blood pressure, dizziness, and potential falls. More importantly, it respects the fact that your body's not 20 anymore, and that's okay. You're not being fragile, you're being smart. Because speed isn't strength, control is. And when you begin your day with control, your body responds with steadiness, clarity, and calm. So tomorrow morning, before you even stand, slow down. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to know that prevention begins with the way we rise. Here's a habit almost everyone does, and almost no one realizes the danger. Checking your phone the moment you open your eyes. I get it. The phone is right there. It feels harmless. You just want to glance at the time, maybe the weather, a quick headline or two. But what you're actually doing is flooding your brain with stimulation before it's ready. News alerts, emails, messages, even if they're not upsetting, they activate your stress system. And if they are upsetting, they can push your body into a stress response before your feet even touch the ground. Here's why that matters after 60. As we age, our stress buffer shrinks. The blood vessels become more reactive, the nervous system more sensitive. And those sudden cortisol spikes in the morning? They tighten arteries, raise blood pressure, and disturb blood flow to the brain. It's not just mental clutter. It's a physiological jolt. Imagine your body is like a garden hose. After a night of calm, pressure builds gently. But if you yank the handle and blast it wide open too fast, the pressure surges, and the hose gets strained. That's what early morning screen time does to your nervous system. Instead, give your brain space to arrive. Don't reach for the headlines. Reach for something quieter. Here's what I recommend. Start your morning with breath, not brightness. Sit up slowly, sip some water, stretch your arms, feel your body. If you want stimulation, let it come from you. Your own breath, your own movement. Save screens for later, once your system has stabilized and the brain has reconnected with the body. It may sound small, but for your vascular system, that transition matters. It sets the tone for how your heart beats, how your blood flows, and how your brain stays clear through the rest of the day. So tomorrow morning, don't reach for your phone. Reach inward first. Your brain doesn't need more information. It needs orientation. A calm beginning, a grounded rhythm, and just a little time before the noise begins. Now let's talk about a morning habit that feels routine, but may be quietly raising your risk every day. Skipping breakfast, or replacing it with just coffee. Many older adults say, "I'm just not hungry in the morning," or "I can't eat first thing, I just want my coffee." It feels harmless, but here's what's happening behind the scenes, especially after 60. When you wake, your body has been fasting for 8 to 10 hours. Your blood sugar is low. Your stress hormones are naturally elevated. And what your brain and heart need most is gentle, stable fuel. But instead, when you skip breakfast or drink caffeine on an empty stomach, you're sending the wrong message. Coffee by itself, especially first thing, triggers adrenaline. It tells your body, we're in danger, get ready to fight. That raises cortisol, tightens your arteries, and constricts blood flow. It can also cause blood sugar crashes later in the morning, leaving you foggy, irritable, or lightheaded by 10 a.m. And for someone with even mild high blood pressure or cardiovascular concerns, this false stress response becomes a dangerous rhythm repeated daily. I've had patients who felt dizzy on the stairs, exhausted before lunch, unable to focus at mid-morning meetings. They thought it was aging, but really, it was their breakfast rhythm or lack of one. Here's the truth. Your brain needs real nourishment to function safely. That doesn't mean a heavy meal. Even something as simple as half an avocado on whole grain toast, a soft-boiled egg, a warm cup of oat milk with cinnamon, or even just a few spoonfuls of cooked quinoa or broth with sea salt. All of these gently wake the digestive system, provide stable glucose, and cushion the effects of caffeine if you still enjoy your morning cup. And if you're someone who truly doesn't feel hungry, don't force a meal. Just start with something warm, mineral-rich, and easy to digest. That small gesture tells the body, we're safe, there's fuel, we can begin the day calmly. Because aging well doesn't mean skipping meals. It means timing them with wisdom. So tomorrow morning, before that first sip of coffee, ask yourself, have I given my brain something to work with? It doesn't need to be big, just something real. Because real fuel creates real stability. And that's what your brain is asking for. The last habit might sound productive, even admirable. But for older adults, it can be one of the most dangerous ways to start the day. Jumping straight into intense movement after waking up. Maybe it's bending over to make the bed, carrying laundry, rushing into chores, or hitting the treadmill. We've all heard, move more, start strong. But what we don't hear is that after 60, how you start moving matters just as much as the fact that you move. Here's why. During sleep, your heart rate drops, your blood vessels dilate, your breathing slows. Your entire system operates in a lower gear, conserving energy and repairing tissue. But when you go from lying in bed to rapid motion, especially without warming up, your cardiovascular system is caught off guard. I've seen patients who were healthy, active, even proud of their routines. Yet they fainted, felt short of breath, or had sharp headaches right after bending down or lifting something in the first 15 minutes of the day. Not because they were doing too much, but because they did it too soon. Sudden exertion can spike blood pressure, constrict arteries, and overwhelm a nervous system that's still shifting out of sleep mode. And for someone with underlying vascular stiffness, that sudden pressure change is more than uncomfortable. It's dangerous. That's why I always teach this principle. Don't launch. Ease in. Here's what I recommend for the first 10 minutes. Gentle joint rolls, neck, shoulders, wrists, ankles. Deep breathing, slow inhales, longer exhales. Light seated stretches or slow walking around the room. Let your circulation catch up. Let your brain calibrate. Think of your body like a car on a frosty morning. You don't floor the gas the moment you turn the key. You let it warm. You listen. You allow. That little grace period can mean the difference between a calm, focused day and one full of stumbles, dizziness, or worse. So tomorrow, when you wake, don't leap into action.
Give your body permission to arrive. Because strength after 60 isn't about pushing, it's about preparing. And with the right preparation, your movement becomes medicine.
If you've spent years rushing through your mornings, skipping breakfast, standing too fast, or checking your phone before your eyes are fully open, you're not alone. These habits feel ordinary, but for the aging body, they're quiet stressors, like pebbles in the shoe. Small, but over time, they wear us down. The good news? You don't need a new prescription. You need a new rhythm. Hydrate gently. Rise slowly. Start with calm. Fuel with care. And move like you respect your body, not like you're racing it. Because after 60, health isn't built in emergency rooms. It's built in the mornings. In the small, nearly invisible decisions we make before 9 a.m. And when you change how your day begins, you change where it leads. So if you've been feeling foggy, dizzy, tired before lunch, before you blame age, look at your morning. Because your brain isn't failing you. It's asking you to start softer, to protect the flow it depends on. And here's one phrase I want you to remember. Begin soft, end strong. That's how we build strength after 60, by honoring wisdom over speed. If this helped you, share it with someone you care about. A friend, a parent, a partner, anyone who still wakes up in a rush, not realizing what it's costing them. And if you want more guidance like this, subscribe. There's so much more to share, and your healthiest mornings might still be ahead.